Aquarius, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to the Unseen Hands Collective. This is going to be your February shift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. Aquarius, as I'm meditating and sitting with your energy, there's not really an image coming to me so much as a phrase. And that phrase is, it takes however long it takes. It takes as long as it takes. That's it. And there's a really, and it hit me, the sensation of that phrase coming to me felt incredibly profound as it hit. And it sort of just like gave me this sudden, settled feeling, this like sudden perspective shift and level of acceptance. It felt next level is what it felt like. I'm sure we've all heard phrases like that before. It is what it is, or like timing, is not necessarily ours to decide, things like this. But the specific way that hit me felt like a next level understanding of acceptance, and like not only accepting that there's really no such thing as a prescribed timeline for anything, for any experience you're having or any goal that you have. But also like along with that, this much larger understanding that everybody's journey is so unique, which again sounds like a trope, but there's some really important truth to that, which is that like you can't compare your situation to anybody else's or your timeline to anybody else's. There's just no point, because of genuinely how different everybody's particular variables are that make up your circumstances. Which is again why having some sort of should timeline, this should happen by now, is actually ludicrous. Like it's so, the kind of energy I'm in is that it's hilarious to even think that anything should happen by a certain time. Like I know we create these constructs around past experiences which tell us things happen in roughly certain time frames, but it's just all ludicrous and bonkers and totally fabricated in a complete construct, which like I think COVID and quarantine has really amplified, which is maybe why I'm feeling it so strongly. Also, yeah, Saturn in Aquarius. I mean, this sounds Saturn, Kronos, god of time. Like this sounds like Saturn speaking, being like, oh my gosh, you think something should happen a certain timeline? Oh my gosh, that's funny, And not necessarily to be like patronizing to the human experience that so desperately wants a linear timeline, but more so to free you and allow you to find some ease in the fact that it takes as long as it takes. Nature doesn't rush the melting of the ice at the end of winter. It takes as long as it takes. Okay. Your shapeshift is gorgeous. I'm loving it. We're using the Slow Holler Tarot this month. The shape you're shifting out of is the Ace of Swords. The shape you're shifting into is the Ace of Wands. I mean, how beautiful is this? You're shifting from ace to ace. Aces are new beginnings packed with potential. The Ace of Swords is, I think, this like profound revelation or this profound realization. It feels like the energy of how that phrase hit me, or how that realization hit, of just like, oh my God, right. I'm not behind, or it isn't taking longer. It's just, it takes as long as it takes. That's all it is. That's all there is to it. And it's like from there, you're working from a completely different mental framework. Like this eye-opening, it's very eye-opening. It's awakening. It's a completely different perspective and viewpoint to be operating from. This sudden influx of clarity. I also love that this star energy is here because, of course, Aquarius, you are the star card in the tarot. So I think you're having some sort of very personal realization, moment of clarity, revelation that is leading you into action, because swords are mental energy. Fire is like the energy of action and libido and drive and that like motivation returning to you to want to take action on something. It's like, this is the force inside of us that drives that inner momentum. So if these are both new beginnings, it's like whatever new beginning you are desiring, it's definitely here. But it's like the best course of action seems to be through that like larger understanding that things take as long as they take, because there's some sort of like internal discernment that needs to come through behind closed doors, or like within your walls, your sanctity, because this is what your shapeshift looks and feels like. It's the Seven of Wands. It's the Visionary of Knives, which is the Queen of Swords, and the Ten of Stones. So to me, what I see in these three cards are two fortresses on either side. Do you see that? It's like this, you know, this interior home space in the Ten of Stones that really feels to me like you're cozy and safe and secure within these like very physical walls, like a really nice, secure home space where you feel totally held, totally safe, totally taken care of and supported, and like you have everything you need. And then this is, again, we're working in the fire element here. This is a different kind of fortress. This is more rigid. It looks more like defensive in its position, you know, like this almost looks like bars or like a cage. You know, these wands are crossed up here, which is some sort of blockage, teeth. This is bones. This is Saturn. And those two different, you know, the Seven of Branches is speaking to me of the walls, the defensive walls that we put up when we feel our inner sanctity is somehow threatened. And then the Ten of Stones speaks to me of a different kind of walls, different kind of fortress that actually we can open up inside of, you know, where if the Seven of Wands is this like defensive energy, then the Ten of Stones is the kind of buttress or like defenses within which you can open up, relax, feel at ease. So where one fortress would close you, perhaps another would actually allow you to open. That's interesting. And then this like Queen of Swords energy swooping in with that ace, holding the ace, swooping in right inside that space. She's coming in hot with some kind of truth for you, you know, and the Queens, this is an internal energy. And especially coming between these two cards, which feel like a fortress to create a sort of safe space inside of you. And then it's almost like this owl is emerging from within those walls, emerging from inside of you. There's some sort of truth dropping in your internal space. And maybe it has to do with safety. Maybe it has to do with security or insecurity, and like what happens when you feel the need to buttress your fortress because something is feeling insecure. Maybe that's how the Seven of Wands manifests. And what happens when you've got enough external security that you can actually relax and open up and feel at ease within that fortress. Ten of Stones. This is interesting. I totally didn't expect the reading to go in this direction. And so it takes as long as it takes could be so many things. It takes as long as it takes for you to feel secure and open up. Okay, that's definitely one one option, one interpretation, because the Queen of Swords is also about boundaries. You know, if I'm reading these two cards as two different ways we could talk about boundaries and how they show up for you, then the Queen of Swords, you know, is commonly spoken of as the Queen of Boundaries. This is the energy that allows us to see our truth so clearly that we know what's right for us and what isn't, and we can enforce boundaries around it. We can say, actually, that's not right for what I need. It's a no. You know, the Queen of Swords doesn't mind coming in and saying, no. It's a no. This also feels like a no. You know, like blocking something out, that's a no. Whereas, interestingly, the Ten of Pentacles feels like a yes. It feels like an opening. And so what does all of this mean inside of these two aces? I don't know exactly. I think there's something new on the horizon here for you, or very much in your present experience where there's like so much potential. I just saw 1111, yeah. Interesting. There's like an opening, a new structure for your life being created here. And you're in this very nascent potential phase where it all feels exciting and it all feels totally open. And there's something about the aces being totally wide open that maybe all of these energies in between kind of need to, maybe you're feeling the need to pull it in. Maybe you're feeling the need to find some sort of edge or some sort of boundary so that you can delineate where you are within this wide open potential space. And it feels like before you can spring into action with the Ace of Wands, there's something for you to understand about your boundaries and what feels safe for you, specifically regarding pace, because again, I just keep coming back to it takes as long as it takes. It takes as long as it takes for whatever this is that you're wanting to take action on. Maybe it's like you keep feeling, it's like lighting a match and then the wind blows it out. And then you light another match and then the wind blows it out. And it's like, I want to start this fire. When am I going to be able to start this fire? And it's like, it's almost as if the wind whispers back to you, it takes as long as it takes. Why are you trying to fight something so beyond you like the wind, you know? And it's like maybe if you find yourself in this sort of limbo space where you're wanting to start that fire, but it's just not getting going, and you're hearing me say, it takes as long as it takes, maybe there's something in this waiting period for you to see about your boundaries, your needs, your sense of security, what happens when you defend versus open up. Like, what do you need to feel safe enough to open up? You know, all of these things coming through for you to feel through inside of yourself before you start this fire, whatever this is. It's like you gotta have a realization first. Maybe. I don't know, Aquarius, but I'm very curious to find out. So we're going to take this into an extended reading now. I'm going to keep pulling cards, lots of other decks, and see if we can get more specifics out of this energy. So if this is resonating with you and you'd like to see the extended, click the link in the description box below, and that'll take you to unseenhandscollective.com. You can find the extended reading in our shop and also through the monthly Zodiac Shift membership. And also, y'all should know this is only 1/3 of your February shift in general. We've got a February shift astroscope for you to check out and a February shift guidebook to help you through all of this energy here this month. So go check those things out at unseenhandscollective.com. Thanks for being here, Aquarius. Happy birthday to those of you born in February. There's so much energy in Aquarius right now. Hope y'all are doing all right. And we'll see you over at the Collective. I'm getting that you don't have the people and the loving home space and all of this like sense of security that you're used to, but maybe also you're separating yourself emotionally in ways that are perpetuating that sense of separation. And so you're actually like creating the very thing that is hurting you. And it's like, stop it. You know, like, okay, great. What are the ways you do need to separate? Because it's important for you to be in your own energy and figure out what's going on for yourself. And then like, what are the ways that you need connection and you need that sense of communal support and, or even just like intimacy with another person, like that space to open up, because the flood has to go somewhere. All that emotional energy has to go somewhere. You know, you can't dam it up for very long. It's going to start busting through.
Twelfth house. Okay, so that's your soul sector. And your soul has been in this particular structure. Capricorn's about structures. It's about the container. Okay, this is about you've got to evolve your soul now. It's been stuck in a particular place. It's been stuck in a particular way. And that Capricorn Taurus connection, okay, because your soul has been stuck, okay, and rigid and refusing to, in some aspect, because it's been about like this, you know, almost like this refusal to move or grow, or because that's what I was feeling in the previous readings, like this refusal to grow,